Hello, everyone, and welcome to another episode of the Sister Love Squadcast. This week's episode is an artist appreciation. And what artist are we appreciating for this month?
Roger Miller.
One of Elsie's favorite singers. And this one was actually at the suggestion of Linda. Linda watched a documentary on Roger Miller recently and thought that we should appreciate him this month in our artist appreciation.
I think it's much deserved, and I think he needs more recognition, especially in this day and age.
Yes, I agree. So, since it was Linda's idea to pick this artist, would you like to start with your first song that you picked out of Roger Miller's to showcase?
Yeah, let's go with his most, well, I don't know if it's his most famous, but the one that I heard and every kid on the block knew it and sang it, whether or not they understood the words.
And what would that one be?
King of the Road.
Man of means by no means, king of the road.
This song was first recorded in November of 64. So, depending, November of 64, so that would have made me young. Yeah.
A little bit of a thing.
A little bit of a thing. But I remember it coming on and it played and it played and it played. And the words, when I was singing this, I mean, you belt this song out, right?
Yep.
And one of the ones that I remember is 2 hours of push and broom buys an 8 by 12 four bit room, not 4 bedroom.
Right.
Right.
This lyric says 4 bedroom, 4 bit room.
Yeah.
I am a man of means by no means king of the road. I didn't get what that meant, but I did sing it loud. And buys an 8 by 12 4 bit room. That'd be $1, right?
Yeah.
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 4 bits. Yeah.
Another one, I smoke old stogies I have found short but not too big around. Okay. Okay. I didn't know what a stogie was, but I knew it was something like cigarettes.
Isn't it a cigar?
Yeah.
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 These songs he writes are so lyrical, and I mean, he's a poet.
He is.
Yeah.
And especially with this song, I mean, as you mature to know the meaning of it, he really paints a picture. Like you can see, and with the tune, I have to give this to him. This is a lovable bum.
Yeah.
The way that he writes it.
Yep.
Rooms to let 50 cents. No phone, no pool, no pets. I ain't got no cigarettes. Now, I didn't know what that meant.
Right.
And for some reason or other, I always thought he was trying to sell trailers or something.
Oh, that
I
makes
could
sense.
see that. Yeah. Trailer
Yeah.
for sale, right? Yeah.
Uh-huh.
The way he writes is actually similar to Jim Croce.
Yeah, I could see that in the words.
It's just an even more country rather than folk.
Yeah, it's
sound.
really the tune that changes the style of the lyrics.
And the fact that sometimes he squishes words together and makes one word out of 2 words to make it work and rhyme. Jim Croce doesn't do that as well. He uses, or not as well, but as much is what I meant to say. He uses terminology that really makes you think.
Yeah.
More so.
Wasn't this one of your now correct me if I'm wrong, and didn't you ask to put something in the jukebox or to have this played? There was something like
What
at a
would I-
restaurant.
What would I put in a jukebox?
You asked
Money.
for like money to put in the jukebox to
Yeah.
play this. You asked for something?
Oh, sorry.
Plug nickel?
Yeah, no, I know.
Anyhow, they used to have in the restaurants. They'd have I don't know I don't know what you'd call them.
They're like,
They'd have the songs,
Right.
right, it's kind of like
They
if
have it
you've
in
seen a
Branson
jukebox.
At that one place.
but
Right.
they're little, and they hang on the wall, and you can flip it to decide which songs
Yeah,
played.
what's that place? It's like Cakes and Cream or something like
Mhm.
that. The 50s diner in Branson, Missouri has them on the tables.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
So if you
Yeah.
look that up, you find out what we're talking about.
And kind of, they do have them still in bars and places, except they're digital now.
Oh, that's no fun.
Yeah.
Yeah, they didn't play from your table. It was connected to something else.
Well, was it connected to the jukebox?
Well, yeah.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Well, that makes sense, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah. If I was with Dad, he'd give me a coin.
Mm-hmm.
Not so much Mom. But yeah, that was always fun. They just had it was more fun.
And
I
you picked
know.
King of the Road.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
that was the song next to the Beatles. And I wouldn't have
Roger
played-
Mill and the Beatles.
Yeah, I wouldn't have picked the Beatles with Dad. So, yeah, this song's it's just my childhood.
Mm-hmm.
But it's fascinating. I mean, every kid knew, at least the ones I knew, every word of this,
Mm-hmm.
whether they knew what it meant or not.
Mm-hmm.
But it just paints such a picture.
One
Yeah.
line I love in it is when I know all of the engineers on all the trains, all their children, and all their names.
Yeah.
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 And every lock that ain't locked when no one's
one's
around.
around.
That part kills me.
But in my childlike head, I didn't think he was a bum.
Right.
I could see that.
And that's what I'm saying about the way the tune drives it, is it's a very friendly song.
Mm-hmm.
So you'd think that he's the nicest guy. And he is a nice guy, but
That's
you wouldn't
the
think of
thing.
anything derogatory. Let's say it that way.
Yeah.
It doesn't put that in your mind.
He's not a he's not a dangerous hobo,
Mm-mm.
because if that were the case, the engineers would not be talking to him,
It,
you know, and wanting him on their trains.
it's almost like, a depression hobo where he couldn't get a job kind of thing.
And at the time he's writing,
Mm-hmm.
we've gotten so, I don't want to say snooty, but about different lifestyles then.
Mm-hmm.
Cigarettes was not that big everybody smoked.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I grew up with a dad that smoked.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, you didn't look at him and go, oh, you're going to kill me or anything.
Well, yeah, you notice that because it's natural. He goes no phone, no pool, no pets. And that's like that's even stuff now, that is just normal every day. And he adds cigarettes.
Mm-hmm.
Like it's the same.
And he said, ain't got no.
Ain't got no.
Yeah, that's very, very Southern. He had an interesting life. He was born in 1936, so it was kind of in the Depression. It was going, it was the height of it, actually, probably. But anyhow, I didn't know this on his other information I was reading about, but he had 2 brothers, so there was 3 kids in the family, and his mom, they were young when they got married, and she said,
His mom and dad.
yeah, but his mom said about that they were just kids, but they went
Kids
red-eyed and grinning
Yep.
into the thing.
Yep.
So anyhow, Roger's father, Gene Miller, died of spinal meningitis when he was only 26 years old.
Oh.
Laudine, that was his mother. There she was with 3 kids during the middle of the Depression.
Yeah.
And Roger was only a year. So Laudine's brothers, to help her out, each one took a child.
Mm.
And it just ended up that way. And they raised him then.
Yeah.
And what they say is that he always felt that he was not abandoned exactly, but he missed his mom.
Right.
Mm.
Right.
He was an imaginative kid.
Oh.
He'd have had to be.
Yeah. I don't doubt that.
They took him from Fort Worth, Texas, to Eric, Oklahoma, and he said he would later joke about how the town was so dull you could watch the colors run, and was so small the town drunk had to take turns.
Oh.
It was really small, and it was like a dirt farm,
Yeah. Yeah.
I think, and picking cotton. And he also said this is funny. This is on his website. Roger painted a somewhat more humorous picture of his school days. The school I went to had 37 students, which is a bit smaller than the one I went to, but I had 17 in my graduating class. Anyhow, the school I went to had 37 students. He would say me and 36 Indians. 'Cause he was in Eric, Oklahoma.
Yeah.
And he says during recess we would play cowboy and Indians, and the things got pretty wild from my standpoint. So he was a little always on the irreverent side, according to today's standards, and which made him funny, and also helped with the songs, the lyrics of the songs. That is amazing. You don't really notice it until you start, analyzing this.
Right. He's definitely not politically correct, but he's also not offensive.
Yeah.
Like, he's not saying anything in an ill intent.
No.
But it's funny. That is so true. I think it was Jimmy Dean. I don't know. There were several people in the interview we were watching talking about speaking to him and the things he would say. And even like those statements you just quoted. And this is a very Southern thing. So we kind of know the lingo because we have, that background. But the things he would say, one of them quoted saying, sometimes it takes me about a week to even figure out what it meant. Because he like makes this joke or makes this statement and all of a sudden it hits you. Oh, that's what he's saying,
Was that
Very
Waylon
clever.
Jennings?
I can't remember if it was Waylon Jennings or Jimmy Dean. It was one of the two.
Yeah, it was one of them. You know who he reminds me of is a country, I guess, if you want to put it that way, or Southern, Robin Williams.
Yes.
I could see that.
Yeah, I
His
could see
mind was
that.
always going.
Yep.
And, that's what they say is the funniest guy.
Very quick.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And when you watch his live performances, that is so true. And each song, whenever he performs each song live, he never does it exactly the same way.
He'd probably be diagnosed as something nowadays.
Oh, yeah.
I
I'm sure.
actually, watching that video we did, just watching his mannerisms, I could see that people probably would diagnose and label him. Was it Marty Stewart who said the thing about the thermostat?
I
If
think
there was
so.
a thermostat in the hotel lobby or something, he'd run up to it and say, 60, I lost 10 pounds.
Not Marty Stewart.
No, Roger
Roger
Miller.
Miller would
would,
say
Yeah.
that.
He
Yeah,
walked
he was
up.
always joking.
Yes,
He'd
you didn't hear
stand-
that part, did you?
He'd stand in
No.
front of a thermostat like it was a,
Yeah.
a scale.
Yep.
Oh.
I have to say, just watching that King of the Road video, I find him very attractive.
Yeah, he did have a very attractive way about him, I think.
I think that's because of how easygoing he puts across, especially in that one. And a lot of people probably don't realize the simplicity of the arrangement of that song. Like, a lot of it is just him singing and snapping, and then the bass comes in. It's not anything extraordinary, if you will, as far as the arrangement.
Here's another little quip here. After he got out of the service, well, here's what happened. It's kind of a long story. On his uncle's ranch, there was a ranch hand named Sheb Woolley.
Oh.
Actually, I found out that he was married to, the reason he was working there is he was married to Roger's cousin.
Oh,
Sheb Woolley was.
So it must have been Elmer's daughter.
Daughter.
Yeah.
Okay.
Elmer Miller.
So
Elmo Miller, yeah.
the uncle that took him in,
Mm-hmm.
his
Was
cousin from him,
Was Sheb Woolley's
wife.
father-in-law, it sounds like.
No, yeah.
I'm
So
confused.
Elmo, which is Roger Miller's cousin,
No,
uncle.
Okay.
Elmo, Elmo, which is Roger Miller's
Uncle.
uncle,
Yes.
is the father-in-law to.
Of Sheb Woolley. Yes.
Mhm.
Yes. Okay. I got
And
it.
he was also working the farm.
Right.
Yeah. He married Melva Laurie, I guess. Miller. Sheb did. And, of course, Roger kind of took to him, and he was like his little buddy.
Mm-hmm.
And Sheb Woolley was the one who introduced him into, he gave him his first fiddle,
Mm-hmm.
and he showed him chords on the guitar, and he told Roger that he was going to be a star. He was going to be on a singing cowboy or shows or whatever.
Sheb was saying this about himself.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And you know what song Sheb wrote?
Yeah. Isn't it
I know what he's
one-eyed,
saying.
one
Yeah.
horn flying purple people
Did he
eater?
did he write that
it?
one?
I
Yeah.
think he wrote
Oh.
it, yeah.
Yeah. Anyhow, he introduced him to the Grand Ole Opry and all this, and at one point he took why they were supposed to be working, I guess, or whatever. He took Roger into the bar and he says, "I'll show you how I'm going to write my name when I'm famous." And so he wrote it on the side of the barn.
Mm-hmm.
So after Roger ended up in Hollywood with him, he came back and got that piece of wood and took it to Hollywood with him. But what happened is that Roger got bored
Mm-hmm.
and he was too eager to follow in Sheb's footsteps, so he ran away.
Mm-hmm.
And he went from town to town to get to Hollywood, from town to town in Texas and Oklahoma, and he'd take whatever work he could find and haunt the honky tonks at night.
Mm-hmm.
And his drifting came to an abrupt halt when he stole a guitar in Texas and crossed back into Oklahoma.
Oh my.
Roger had wanted a guitar so desperately to write songs that it seemed the only way. Well, he turned himself in the next day. And rather than putting him in jail, they offered him to go to the service. That's how they used to do.
Oh.
Mm.
And he was only 17, but he chose to go to the service.
Yep. Yep.
Smart choice.
Yeah. He ended up, as we heard, in a band.
In the service, yeah.
So he didn't actually have to fire a gun. He said he got his education was Korea Clash of 52.
Clash of 50. That is so epic. See, the more you think about it, the funnier it is.
Yeah. So, but after he got out of the service, there wasn't any jobs really, but he wanted to go to Nashville.
Mhm.
So he went to Nashville and to see Chet Atkins.
Oh yeah.
And he told Chet that he was a songwriter, and Chet asked him to play something. And seeing that Roger didn't have a guitar, Chet loaned him his. But he needed work besides that. Do we understand that?
Yeah.
Okay. So, needing to work while he was pursuing his dream, Roger took a job as a bellhop at the Andrew Jackson Hotel. And situated in the thick of Nashville's music district, the Andrew Jackson gave him proximity to the vibrant country scene. And Roger soon became known as the singing bellhop. He would sing to anyone who listened on the way up and down the elevator.
Oh my goodness, that's great.
I mean, it's fun.
Yeah,
I mean,
it is.
Mm-hmm.
This is what Zena and I was noticing
Mm-hmm.
when we were watching the interview on the Bill Anderson show. It must have been.
Yes.
He must have had a show. Well, Jimmy Dean was on there
Was
too.
on there with them, yeah.
The interview and the show and how they were, and I noticed this with even the other one where Waylon Jennings and all those guys. Glenn Campbell, was he on there?
Marty Stewart was there with them.
Marty Stewart.
Yep.
The older ones like Chet Atkins and Roger Miller and all those, they just seem like regular people.
Mm-hmm.
There was no pretension about them. I mean, that you could. It seems like you would have been able to tell. They look like they would come into your living room and visit with you and not think that they were anybody.
Right, that's how they talk. Very
Yeah.
down to earth and not in a way like it's an act.
Jim Reeves was the same way.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, he seemed
Yep.
very like we were watching him a clip from Jimmy Dean's show. Yeah, Jim Reeves was a guest on it. And just realizing how kind of like shy and mellow he was.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? There was nothing like having to be overly flashy or act like a star. He's just a person giving you a heartfelt song.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
And there's something so inviting about that.
I don't see that anymore. I mean, it's so
It's corporate. That's the problem.
That's the main
Yeah,
problem.
that is
Especially
Because the only people who are getting recognition and uplifted are the people who are owned by companies because they have the money to put into it. All these people, yes, there was the label system, but they had to all be independent artists.
right.
So this is where, the public has to come in and start supporting independent artists as opposed to just the people who have the most followers on social media or who you're supposed to be listening to. Actually listen and say, do I like this music? Do I not? Maybe I need to give something else a chance. Who's local? How can I support the independent artists so that they can make it on their own?
I found it was so interesting, and I do not remember his name, but the one part of the interview, and you probably should link it because it's a really good documentary.
Yeah, I can link it in the description box.
Found it very interesting how his producer was saying once he started songwriting,
Mm-hmm.
and many people said this about him, he wrote when he felt like it.
Yeah.
And when he was
Right.
inspired. That's one thing that a lot of people, and we'll find this a little bit later too with a song that I have picked, but a lot of people would get frustrated with that.
Mm-hmm.
But I mean, I can kind of relate to that. Like, I kind of get it. It's like he would get inspiration, and when it was there, it was there.
Mm-hmm.
Which leads me to another story. He went into his publisher's office and said, I need $300.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
And he says, Roger, I can't give you $300.
Mm-hmm.
I already bought you a car,
Mm-hmm.
and you owe more to the company than the company's worth.
Right.
So he says, but write me a song and we'll see.
Mm-hmm.
And so he's at first he kind of was,
Yeah, because he was so desperate for this 300.
yeah, he needed it now.
Mhm.
Is what he went in the other room.
And he wasn't real happy about it
No,
because he said he wasn't inspired at the moment.
yeah,
Mhm.
he wasn't there. And he wrote a song. What was it?
Was it home?
Was it Home?
I think it was home. Yes.
Yes, it was
was.
Home. And he gave him his $300. He looked at it and gave him his $300. And he immediately went out and bought what he wanted it for was a riding lawnmower.
Okay.
And and he said he drove 8 miles down the road to his house
On the riding
on the riding lawnmower. And he went, his lawn was like 3 feet high, and he went down the middle of his lawn, made a path,
Mm-hmm.
and then left the lawnmower there.
And Bill Anderson's not sure he ever used it again.
He just wanted to plow a little bit through his yard,
It's a
I guess.
$300 path.
I guess. But anyhow, he was glad that he wrote it because it became a big hit for Jim Reeves.
Yes.
Yeah.
It was one of his breakthrough songs that he had written for someone else.
Is that the same one that Glenn Campbell did?
Mm.
No, that, let me see, I think you're thinking of Homeward Bound.
Maybe.
Yeah. But yeah,
Oh, wait.
you know the Jim Reeves song. We listened
Yes,
to
yes.
it. If it came on, you'd recognize it. But it's a good tune.
Yeah, he wrote about home because he was thinking about his home and the lawn in front of it.
I guess so. Yeah. Needless to say, he was not boring.
No.
No.
Full of
Definitely a
personality.
character. All right. Next up, Shelly, do you have a pick for us?
I think I'm gonna go with Little Green Apples first.
That's not loving me. Then all I've got to say, God didn't make little green apples, and it don't rain in Indianapolis in the summertime.
So this was not written by Roger Miller. It was written by Bobby Russell. And is that it?
Yes, Bobby
Only-
Russell.
Only Bobby Russell? Oh.
Yep.
He also wrote Honey.
Yes, by Bobby Goldsboro. And a note on that, I do like Bobby Goldsboro's version of this song as well.
Yeah, I was thinking he did this one too. It was written for Roger Miller, and he was the original person to do it.
And did you look into Bobby Russell at all?
No, I did not, so you're going to have to fill me in.
Actually, he was married to Vicki Lawrence
Oh.
from 72 to 74. And he is the one that wrote The Night the Lights Went Out in Georgia.
Okay.
He's a good songwriter.
Yep. This one and Honey actually were kind of an experiment Because he thought that people were going to be leaning more towards true to life story songs and songs with a little more meat in the lyrics. So this one and Honey he wrote as an experiment for that, and they both were hits.
And
Yeah.
honestly, The Night That the Lights Went Out in Georgia is that too.
Yeah,
Mhm.
yeah.
He is a
So-
story songwriter, and that's one thing I have to say, and why I like Roger Miller's version the best, personally,
Mm-hmm.
is how he has the perfect way of talk singing. Like,
Mm-hmm.
he sings the entire time. It's like a running rhythm with the way he uses his voice, but at the
Mhm.
same time, especially when he says, like, maybe we could stop and get a bite to eat, when he's calling
Mhm.
her on his lunch break, just the way he delivers that, literally, you hear him on the phone having that conversation.
Yep.
It's so easy and so natural that
And
it
I-
puts the scene in your mind.
And I think that this one shows that more than Bobby Goldsborough's version.
I do too.
More of the phone call feel.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I feel like in Bobby Goldsborough's version, it, is like he's relaying it to you
Mm-hmm.
about what his life is like, rather than Roger
Yeah.
Miller's is more like you're actually listening in on the conversation.
Like
Yeah.
you're watching it. Yeah.
Right. Don't think I've ever heard O.C. Smith's version.
Yeah,
But
apparently
his
it was
was-
very famous.
Yeah, his was actually a bigger hit than Roger Miller's.
I've heard, like I said, the name in association with this song.
It's more of an R&B version of the song.
Mm.
We
it's
should
not
do a
as country.
secondhand songs
Yeah.
or a cover song comparison on this one.
And Patti Page had a version that did pretty well as well.
I think I've heard hers.
I think
Mhm,
I have
think so
too.
too.
I wonder if I have hers on my playlist because this is like one of my favorite songs. But of course, Roger Miller is my absolute favorite version. I mean, it is just so soothing. The words and even just the whole sound of the song, the background with his voice.
Mm-hmm.
His voice is really soft, but it has like this like crack or I guess not really gravel, but it's like a crack in
To
his
it.
voice.
Yeah.
that is so cool.
Bobby Russell actually won 2 Grammys for this song.
It's well
Oh.
deserved.
Yeah.
It's a
Mhm.
perfect story song. It has the same feel, not the same emotion, not the same setting, but in the way that it puts you into the scene, it has the same strength of technique as Bobby Gentry's Ode to Billy Joe. Same kind of thing where they're telling a story, having a conversation, and you literally feel like you're just listening to somebody else's life. or
I
somebody
could see
else's
that.
A lot
and
of it has to do with the rhythm guitar, I think.
I was just gonna say that because they're singing the words exactly along with the way the finger picking of the guitar goes.
Mm-hmm.
And also lyrics wise, the fact he brings up things you don't normally hear in songs,
Mm-hmm.
like Disneyland, Dr. Seuss, BB guns. I mean, it's just everyday things that people know about, but you don't hear it in songs really.
Mm-hmm.
Talked about in songs, unless it's like a novelty song or a Broadway song.
Mm-hmm.
I think my second favorite part of this song is when he goes in and they meet for lunch and he says, "And I'm always late." But she looks at me and smiles because she's made that way. I mean, you just hear the endearment and the gratitude for this person he loves in his
Mhm.
voice.
Mm-hmm.
And it's actually, I didn't know that the same guy wrote Honey,
Mm-hmm.
but I've always pictured the same couple
Oh.
in my
Yeah, I
mind.
could see that. I always thought the two songs were very similar in the feel
Yeah.
and the spirit behind them. And of course, we have to acknowledge the fact that it actually talks about Minneapolis in this song.
Uh-huh.
It does.
Right?
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
How do you picture the restaurant? Like, what kind of restaurant is it?
I think it's kind of a cafe.
Yeah, that's what I pictured.
There is a place, I think it's on That Girl, the TV show with Marlo Thomas, that she always meets Donald for lunch.
Oh, you picture that place?
Yeah. With like kind of the rounded booths.
Hmm.
Mine is similar, but it's a fancier kind of restaurant downtown, and it is on the bottom half of a building, and there are windows so you can see in at the people eating.
Mm-hmm.
And she's sitting by the window, so he can see her across the street. Yeah, I have this whole thing playing out in my head, and when you go in, it's kind of dark in there with like maroons and browns and that. But so it's a fancier restaurant. But yeah, something that
Sounds similar to the place actually on That Girl.
yeah, somewhere a business lunch would be.
Yeah, yeah.
Oh, mine was always like kind of like a very clean and nice cafe, but because she's sitting by the window is what I picture. Like it's a big cafe kind of window, and there's booths, and I see him come in. Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah. Everybody has a different picture, different story in their head. That's for sure. All right. Well, I guess it's my turn now, and I just searched YouTube and played a bunch of Roger Miller albums and picked out 2 that stood out to me. I hadn't heard them before, and I have no background on them, so I'll have to be doing my research as I go. But the first song that stood out to me because of the wording of the title of the song was Attaboy Girl.
Attaboy girl, that a way to break my heart. Attaboy girl, that a way to tear me apart. Yeah, you know how to do just what to make me mad enough to blow my top. Well, attaboy girl, that a way to break my heart.
So yeah, there isn't actually much history on the song. Of course, Roger Miller wrote it.
You
but
can tell.
Yep.
I wonder if he came up with the tune first.
Lots of his tunes sound the same. I will say that. Like, this sounds like a Roger Miller song. There
Well,
isn't
right.
much variation.
Every songwriter has kind of usually songwriters have a certain pattern they follow. Okay, so their songs are going to sound similar. But I understand what you're saying with if he got the tune first. I'm thinking he might have because of the way he mushes things into rhyme.
Well,
He
right,
makes it work around the tune.
Right, because he puts so many words into it. Yeah.
Yeah.
That I'm wondering if he comes up with the tune first.
Well, he almost does his lyrics like a square dance call.
That's true.
Yeah, I can see that.
You know what I
never
mean?
thought of that, but that's kind of true.
Like a mix of a square dance caller and an auctioneer. I mean,
Yeah.
because he does sing, but he does it in a way similar to way a caller or an auctioneer does.
Yeah, because a caller, an auctioneer, not so much, but a caller is going to rhyme more than likely.
Yep. It's like country rap.
In a way. And that's what all his friends in Nashville and all the people that knew him and sang with him and wrote songs around where he was writing songs were saying that he totally changed the face of country music because he didn't play by the rules. He made up his own rules. And that's what made it great because you hadn't heard anything like that.
Yep.
That's what his son said. The best thing my dad ever taught me is when you go to write a song, don't pay attention to the rules.
You know how many times I've heard that? It's like, do not. Like, they're there for a reason, but it gets to a point where the rules become a box that keep you locked in a cell rather than the rules are just supposed to expand your horizons on different things you can do.
Well, the rules are whatever's popular at the time. So what do you get? You get one good song, and then you get 50 copies
Right.
of the same song. And Roger Miller, you knew that was a Roger Miller song.
Right.
Right.
And Jimmy Dean wrote Big Bad John, I believe.
Yes, I think
And
you did.
then there was, well, that's totally different. And Marty Robbins
Yeah. His style of writing.
and Loretta,
Mm-hmm.
you know. I don't think Patsy ever wrote a song, did she?
Not that I know of, but that's the other thing is lots of times you'd have songwriters at studios or labels or just people that wrote songs that could pitch it to certain artists.
Well, that's
You
what
gotta associate, not make it that an artist also has to be a songwriter.
No, I mean, that's what Roger Miller was a songwriter first.
Right.
And
But some of the songs he wrote, nobody could sing but Roger Miller.
Somebody said that.
Yeah, true, true.
I mean, if you think about it, especially when he goes into his unique little
Scat,
Come on,
country
do
scat.
it, do it.
no, I'm not going to touch that with a 10-foot pole. It's going to sound horrible.
It's country scat.
Yep. Basically, he had a form of country scat.
Loop, 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 loop. There you go. That's the closest I got.
That's pretty good.
Yeah. I told her she should work at perfecting it. I think out of all of us, Elsie could get it down pat.
That would
Yeah,
tickle
yeah.
people.
Yes,
Yeah, it's
yes.
like you gotta roll a bunch of bubbles in the back of your throat.
All right, next up, Mandy, do you have a pick for us?
I do. It is You Can't Roller Skate in a Buffalo Herd.
You can't roller skate in a buffalo herd. You can't roller skate in a buffalo herd. You can't roller skate in a buffalo herd. But you can be happy if you've a mind to.
Okay, so it was written in 1966. Well, I don't know if written, but released in 1966. Roger Miller was a songwriter and produced by Jerry Kennedy. The writers and the commentaries have described this piece as an example of Roger Miller's wit and concise phrasing in his lighter material.
Mm-hmm. This is his quirky side.
Yes, definitely.
And this is what's so much fun. I think, as you said, this is another one as a kid you love to sing.
Yes, yes.
And that's why I think that kids of this day and age should be introduced to this song.
This is another one we
Belted.
sang. What fascinates me is he sings along.
Mhm.
You can't roller skate in a buffalo herd. And he's singing it, and then he gets at the end, and he totally just says, "If you've got a mind too," but it doesn't match what he was just doing.
No.
No,
Mm-mm.
no. And to be honest, when I was little, I thought he said, "If you were mine too."
Yeah, me too.
Oh, really?
Yes.
Yeah.
I didn't. It wasn't until I was a little older I found out it was "If you've a mind too."
Yeah.
Yeah, that happens with his songs.
Yep. Yep.
Mhm. Well, this one is almost like a We Sing song.
Yeah, it
Really?
does have that feel.
The We Sing songbooks that came out in, I think it's like the 80s,
Mhm.
that they had different folk and classic songs.
And just silly songs.
silly songs, you know,
Mhm.
like they had songs like
Mhm.
Oh Susanna or, you know, all the classics.
Found a peanut.
Jingleheimer Schmidt, what is that one?
John Jacob
Yeah.
Jingleheimer Schmidt.
Mm-hmm.
So it also was, this song was performed on The Muppet Show in 76,
He was on The Muppet Show?
Yeah. I
We
think
need to
so.
watch that
Yep.
episode.
October 3rd.
We need to watch that episode.
Yeah, I just remember Papa used to sing this song a lot. He sang, I specifically remember him singing, of course, the roller skate in a buffalo herd and the fishing in a watermelon patch.
Yeah.
Yep, yep, the go fishing in a watermelon patch. But another person this song reminds me of is our cousin Ethan, who is the oldest of all our cousins. He would always bring CDs when he'd come with us to go places, and this was on one of his CDs. And one time we were going somewhere, I think it was a show with the group we were in, and he was about to take his driver's test. And the song played, and the verse "You can't drive around with the tiger in your car" came on. And I remember Linda said to him, she's like, "Just remember that, Ethan, when you take your test, because that'll probably be one of the questions on there."
I don't remember that.
Yeah, I knew
neither.
that
That's
there was
great.
something specific with that verse.
Yeah, this is definitely a fun one. The one that kills me that is actually like a lot of them are the most preposterous situation that could ever happen.
Yes.
But the one that is a real life thing is you can't change film with a kid on your back.
Yes.
I'm like, you see somebody, and think about that. People wouldn't even know, changing film in a camera.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
People don't
Oh,
even think
yeah.
about that anymore. Most people don't even bring cameras. They bring their phone
Yeah.
to take pictures.
Yeah, you had to put it in there exact, and then you had to turn it.
Yep.
And I had a little bit more modern one than even my parents did, But yeah, it was a tricky thing
So, yeah.
because you could ruin the whole business if it wasn't clicked in there right.
Right. So that's why that line, I
Mhm.
always think that's very true.
Yeah.
But many people probably wouldn't get it today.
I don't know why this comes up in my mind when I hear that as some guy trying to corral his kid and take a picture of the Grand Canyon or something.
Yes.
And having to change his film.
I always have a picture of a dad with the kid on their back at a zoo.
Oh,
Yeah. All right. Any other thoughts on this fun little ditty?
Well, I guess this is kind of on the film thing, but when I heard it, I mean, I didn't really actually go to a little camera. My mind went to like a film camera, like for the movies. So either like someone changing it for a movie theater and they have to watch their like little brother or cousin or something for the day, or maybe like the dad who is a cameraman had to bring his kid to work.
Oh,
Yeah. Which
yeah, they used to have to do that.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Not bring the kid to work, but
no, change the film and a camera.
mhm.
Yeah.
Yep. Yep. I remember we actually toured Marcus Theaters in Rochester. They were still using some film when we did that, and we were little, so this is early 2000s,
I was born.
2010.
It was
maybe.
I was a
baby, 2008.
Yeah,
probably.
yeah. So
it
probably
was the same
2010s.
day. It was the same day the chameleon jumped on you.
Yeah.
Yes, at PetSmart.
Mhm.
Yes. The thing that did the thing. Moving
No.
on. Yeah, but it was one of their last theaters that they had still using the film that they showed us that, and they showed us, of course, a computer setup that was coming in. But
Makes
I
you
don't-
feel old, doesn't it?
I know. I think our major Roger Miller fan is up next. That would be Elsie.
Yes, so I have, of course, 2 songs. I'm going to pick a song from one of my favorite Disney movies, and that would be Oodalolly from 1973, Robin Hood by Disney.
Robin Hood and Little John walking through the forest, laughing back and forth at what the other has to say. Reminiscing this and that and having such a good time. Oodalolly, golly, what a day.
I was telling the girls the other day, there are movies that you watch as a kid,
Mm-hmm.
and then there's that time that you kind of take them for granted, just like, yeah, they're a movie. And then you go back and watch them when you're older, and you're like, I don't realize how much I love this movie.
I know. And it like kind of captures this one especially makes me feel very warm and cozy.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
Like I not only watched this a lot with my family here, but when all the cousins were over, I remember
Yes.
us watching this. I remember Madison even being here and just
Yeah.
just enjoying this movie. And the thing about Disney using Roger Miller's voice throughout it and his
Mhm.
songs, it gave it such a soft flavor.
Yeah,
It did. It did.
I mean, his voice in the beginning sets the entire tone.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and another thing watching it is you don't realize how mature the script is. Really. I mean, he tells you a lot in that first little clip. Like he says, I'm Alan Adale, which is the character he's based on in the book, which is one of the Merry Men.
Mm-hmm.
And he says, and I'm a minstrel. And then he does talk like he's talking to kids because he says that's like an old time folk singer.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, I want to know how much of his was actually ad libbed.
I know, because he's just
Because-
talking like he's sitting in the room there with
Mhm.
you.
Yeah.
Yeah. Same with on Nestor the Long-Eared Donkey. He's good on that too.
Yes, and
Mhm.
that
He
I think it
narrates all that
has to
too.
do something with his style of guitar playing, his voice, and just that down to earth thing
Mhm.
that we were talking
Mhm.
about,
Mhm.
and how they had a way of presenting to you like this song or even what they're speaking is
Mhm.
just a gift personally to you.
Yeah,
Yeah,
and you
yeah.
still got that sad feeling with it. But when I was little, I didn't really like minor songs or sad songs. But I did like Not in Nottingham.
Mm-hmm.
That one.
That's the other song he sings. Yeah.
Yeah, that one. And
This is
then-
going to be off topic, but when I watched this again as an adult, I found that my favorite part was the part I thought was way too long as a kid.
Yes.
And that's the song Love Goes On and On.
I think it's called Love, yeah.
Love, yeah.
Yeah.
It's like, oh my goodness, I love that. The whole scene is so 70s
and it's like
and dreamy.
15 seconds long.
I think
like,
it's the
seriously.
shortest song of the movie.
It is so short, and
know.
as a kid, it feels like it's an hour.
It does. It really does.
No, I wonder, did he write all the songs for it? I should have looked this up.
Yeah, I was kind of looking at it. I don't know if he wrote all of them. He wrote some of them. Like, he wrote Oodalolly and Whistle Stop, which is the do-do-do-do-do-do.
Yep. And there is a clip, which we also should post to the Squadcast discussion group, of Roger Miller on the Bobby Goldsboro show
Uh-huh.
doing the Whistle Stop song. And he does even more than he does in the beginning of this.
Oh, good.
Oh, it's hilarious. It's so good. You guys have to watch it.
yeah.
Yeah, I'll have to put that in the discussion group this week. So Make sure if you're listening to this, of course, on Friday, so make sure you check the Squadcast discussion group on Facebook, and we will have that in the discussion group.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, but he's probably, other than Robin Hood, the main character in this movie.
Mm-hmm. Really?
Yeah, he is, and I think it's cool that they gave him a character.
Mm-hmm.
You know, rather
Yeah.
than just showcasing the music,
Yeah.
Mhm.
they actually gave him a character
Yeah.
as a narrator.
One thing that's interesting, I was reading a little bit about the movie before we started the podcast, and they were contemplating and setting the story in the Deep South
Oh,
instead of in
really?
England. Yes, so bringing Roger Miller and Pat Buttram
Mm-hmm.
into it, and even
Mhm.
Andy Devine
Mm-hmm.
into it, got that southern western kind of feel.
Well, and Festus and Goober.
Oh yeah, yep. We got King
forgot
Curtis.
they're the-
and
They're the vultures.
I
yes.
could watch this movie
Festus and
again.
Goober.
Yep. A lot of it also, different aspects were dedicated to Walt Disney because Walt Disney had passed at this point. He'd been gone like 7 years. And Peter Ustinov,
Mhm.
who is Prince John,
Right.
was
Mhm.
one of Disney's favorite actors. You know, he really liked him in Blackbeard's Ghost. He plays
Mhm.
Blackbeard, so they had him be Prince John. And
PJ.
I rather like that. PJ.
Tommy Steele was a favorite of Walt Disney's because of his role in Happiest Millionaire.
Well,
so
he
they
was always my favorite on that.
they wanted him for Robin Hood, but his voice, he couldn't get his voice heroic enough.
Mm-hmm.
So they got Brian Bedford instead, which he's been breaking hearts since 1973.
Just his voice. I know
Uh-huh.
it.
Yeah. Well, they needed somebody. I think Brian Bedford is a Shakespearean actor,
Mhm.
mostly theater and stage, and they needed somebody like that for the role of Robin Hood. They could have put Tommy Steele somewhere else,
Mm-hmm.
They could have, yeah.
but yeah, not for Robin Hood. And of course, Phil Harris is Little John, and
Right.
he just
Mhm.
screams Disney. That's for sure.
And I can't remember Sir Hiss's name.
The voice actor.
Actually, and I found this interesting in light of getting off a little bit, but in light of the new Zootopia 2 movie, how they made the snake a good character,
Mm-hmm.
they were going to make a snake one of the townspeople
Mm-hmm.
in this. The animators wanted to make him a good guy. But I don't know if it's producers who said, why don't we make him a cohort to Prince John?
Mm. Interesting.
Yeah, smart move because it just does not work.
Mm-mm.
It didn't work in Zootopia.
No.
Had they had it any other animal, even if it were a lizard with the same storyline,
Mm-hmm.
it would have worked better.
Mm-hmm.
But we do have to give the appreciation. I think we've talked about this before on the podcast, but for the animators with Sir Hiss, that they were able at that one part where he's in the basket to make a snake cross his arms.
which are non-existent.
The way they make him do that, it's like, oh my goodness, so much imagination.
Well, actually, the next song does tie in to the song that you picked, Oodalolly.
Oh yeah?
Yep, I have a little information on that. But it's one of my favorite Roger Miller songs, which is probably going to surprise everybody that it would be my favorite. But it's called England Swings.
Oh, surprise, surprise.
England swings like a pendulum do. Bobby's on bicycles 2x2. Westminster Abbey, the Tower of Big Ben, the rosy red cheeks of the little children.
So this song was released in November of 1965, and I couldn't find too much about his inspiration on the writing of this song, except that the title refers to swinging London, a popular term for the scene in London at the time. And of course, he goes from that into more traditional mentions of England, and
Right,
things
right.
that distinctly speak England. So I just love the tune to it and the feel. It's amazing how he captured. I mean, he's a country singer. He's an American country singer and songwriter, but he totally captured the feel of England, I think.
Yeah.
Even though I've
Yeah.
never been there, but it puts a different picture in your mind than his other songs.
Mm-hmm.
And This song actually provides the structure for his Oodalolly in Robin Hood. And until I read that, I never really made that connection. But when I was listening to Oodalolly just before this song, I'm like, yes, the rhythm is exactly the same.
Yep, yep. Well, it's perfect because Robin Hood is set in England,
Right.
and it gives that right feel.
Yeah, he has that same sticking so many words into this weird timing. I mean, the Oodalolly timing is weird.
Mm-hmm.
It is, yeah.
I mean, I perform it to the track, and it's a weird timing
Mm-hmm.
to not, especially if you're not playing it.
Right.
So when he sticks dodging fences, jumping trees, jumping fences, dodging trees, that is so hard to
Yep.
say. And then the one he says in this song, trying to mock the way they talk, but all in vain. I mean, it's just like really, you have to be on the right time.
Kind of like a tongue twister.
Yeah, that's why I still really, when you said he gets the tune first, possibly, I think that is probably true. Because it would make sense with the way he sticks the lyrics in. I thought it was so funny too how no matter what, he will make it rhyme.
Yes. Yes.
He'll throw something in there to make it rhyme. And
Yep.
that's on the first verse of this song. He says, "Take a tip before you take your trip. Let me tell you where to go. Go to England. Oh."
I know.
He just threw it
I
in there so
know.
that it rhymed. I'm like, oh my goodness, this is so great.
Or what about, what's the one, your mama's old pajamas and your papa's mustache?
Yes.
Uh-huh.
Falling out the windowsill, frolic in the grass.
Yeah, the tune thing probably is true. That's probably why he came up with his little, guitar picking thing that he does with his voice. Because he was trying to figure out tunes.
Yeah.
I don't know. You have to watch the documentary because his mom was commenting on that. I'm not sure why he started doing the sounds and the being goofy. I think it's just partially because he's just quirky.
Yeah.
And he just picked up to do it because she heard that on the radio and she thought, what was that?
Oh, it's funny.
I don't know. He just comes up with these lyrics, you know.
Which that's how he writes. Like his mind is always going. Like that's how he sings. He barely takes a breath.
He didn't have fame right away either.
Mm-hmm.
He knew a lot of people that were
Successful?
they hadn't hit, like George Jones.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, he hadn't hit the big time. I mean, he might have had a hit or two, but they're all still trying to be the icons.
Yeah.
And he went back to Texas moved his family back to Texas, and he became a fireman.
Oh.
And he only had 2 fires that happened in the town when he was on call. The one was just somebody's pen. I think it was a pig pen or something,
Oh.
or a chicken coop or something. And the other one, he slept through the alarm.
Oh.
So they politely said to him that maybe he should try other work. But he was going to give up completely because he was married and has a child on the way, or already
So
born.
he was trying to find something more predictable in the music. Is that what you're saying?
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. And then for some reason, I can't remember who he met, but they headed back to Nashville through the songwriting.
Mm-hmm.
And then when he got to Nashville, he got a job songwriting again. I can't remember the names of the stars that he was writing for. Jim Reeves and those type of people. But one of the songs, people said, let him record it.
Ah.
And he did, and it went to number 1 or something like that. I lost my other notes. But, I mean, so what I'm trying to get at is he really didn't become famous until, 1960-ish, King of the Road era.
Right.
Yeah.
But he wrote a lot of songs before that.
Yeah. Well, and if you do that right, you can sometimes make more money writing songs than you can actually being an artist yourself.
Yeah.
As long as you retain some of your publishing rights.
Mm-hmm.
It's still tricky.
You have to make sure that you're protected in every way, especially in today's world with the rise of AI and everything. You really have to protect your work.
To the point of almost protecting your eyelashes and your toenails. And, you know what I'm saying?
Yep.
It's just-
Yeah, you have to have a clause for everything to make sure that
yeah. Make sure I'm protecting that my I's are dotted.
Yep.
Which I thought was interesting. That did they have those rules back when Bobby Russell was writing Little Green Apples?
Rules about what?
Using names and trademarked things, because he mentions Disney. Like I said, he mentions Disneyland, Dr. Seuss.
Oh, did he have to pay rights?
Yeah.
Is that what you're wondering? Interesting. I don't
Even
know.
BB guns. It's technically a probably patented.
Well, yeah,
toy
but it's
with
thing.
trademarked.
A BB gun isn't necessarily a toy. It's kind of
The type of
right.
Yeah.
Yeah, there had to have been trademarks and things like that. I don't know as far as if labels paid for cover licenses for stuff like that, but
Mm.
it at least did come around by the time like Kenny Loggins wrote House at Pooh Corners, because he would not have been able.
Pretty close.
Yeah, he would not have been able to release that had he not been. Well, he was unknowingly dating the daughter of Disney's CEO. He didn't know that her dad was the CEO, and he told her about the song, and she's like, I think I can get that song to work for you. He's like, what? She's like, I'm going to go talk to my daddy about this. But so there was trademarking and things. If it was on a label, usually the label takes care of that. But labels will also sometimes want to claim publishing rights too. So
On the songwriter end of it, it's like, oh, brother, get your hand out of my pie.
right.
yeah,
On the other side, it's like, maybe I should have that, so in case somebody wants my pie.
mm-hmm.
So I get both sides of it.
Yeah, it really is true. And, I've been studying it a lot more. If you really want to be successful in the music business, you have to know the business of music business. As hard as that is, you have to know the legalese and every step, or you're leaving half the money on the table.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Well, we have went overtime than we usually do on our first round talking about Roger Miller. Maybe we'll have to do a part 2 in the future to get to our second picks, because I don't know that we will in this episode. But I would like to move on, and instead of, it's kind of a question, but it's kind of a long post that someone in our discussion group posted asking our opinion on it. So I would like to do this instead of the Q&A section, but it is also kind of a question. It's more of a question for our thoughts on a subject. So I'll read the post and then we can discuss away. Okay, so he says, there's something that I've noticed in many different churches that I have attended, and I wanted to bring it up here as a potential discussion. And I'll skip some of it. So this is what he's talking about. At the end of a church service, every so often, I hear a speaker make a call to action. Now, of course, there's nothing inherently wrong with a call to action. There are many calls to action in the Bible. What concerns me is when it appears there may be psychological or emotional manipulation going on instead of leading people to genuine and authentic decision. One example that I've seen multiple times is where a speaker brings up a cross that he has assembled from 2 pieces of wood, and then has purchased some nails and hammers, and then urges the audience to come up after the service and hammer a nail into the cross. I believe that is more than likely that at least 40% of those who come up and nail a nail into the cross are doing it either because of peer pressure or just being caught up in the moment. I'm concerned that this may be wrong and offensive to Jesus and what he did for us. There are other examples I could give, but I do not want to get lost on rabbit trails. So, first of all, I've never heard of that. The specific example that he gave.
I've never heard of it.
No.
It's a little disturbing to me.
Me too.
That's the only
'Cause
word.
I guess I'd have to hear what the person says before he urges people to come up. But the Lord Jesus is not on the cross anymore.
Right.
So I don't know what the point of nailing, unless it's supposed to be nailing your sins to the cross, but that's already been taken care of.
Right.
So
Yeah, we don't need a physical example of that.
no, but it says called to what?
Call to action.
Which I'm assuming is like an altar call.
Kind of, but
Or like kind of like a conclusion.
Or to get out there and preach the gospel?
what he's saying though, it's something like a specific example that they're supposed to do after the service, like this nailing to the cross. So it's a call to action, like after the service, do this.
Do what?
It,
the
one of his
nailing thing.
examples was the
Whatever.
cross
I think
thing.
it's like what most sermons, have an application at the end. And they're using like physical things
He was
to bring
saying-
about the application.
I think you're going too literal on it. Maybe not. I mean, that might be the call to action, but
Mhm.
usually a call to action is they're trying to get somebody to do something going forward.
Right.
Yes.
He's talking about making some kind of a life choice. Now, it doesn't. The way it's worded, the only thing I'm used to is pastors, giving an opportunity for people to accept Christ
Right.
at the end of a
Like an
message.
altar call.
Right. That I've heard of, and of course that's okay.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't get this.
Where's the humility in that?
well,
I
what's
just
the
don't get-
point?
Well, I don't understand the point either, but what I'm getting from it is that we have to participate somehow in the crucifixion.
It's either saying
And when it's already done.
Mm-hmm.
yeah, it's either
Mhm.
saying that or like either it's that or that you're like it's an example like you're nailing your sins to the cross
Or it's showing
Or
you that we all
that we all nailed him to the cross.
That's what I was wondering. That was the other thing that popped in my head. Is it because some people don't realize, like when you first come to the Lord, you have to realize it was my sin that held him there. Like it was my sin he took on, or
Mhm.
my nature. Maybe that's what they're trying to say. But not that I care to get into this, but I would really like a short video of what you're talking about to hear what they're using it for.
right. Hear the
Mhm.
context of the whole ending of the sermon.
Right. What is the point? That's the biggest question. It's disturbing, first of all, and second of all, I don't get the point.
It's already done.
Right.
Mhm.
We live on the other side.
The resurrection, yes.
The resurrection side. It not that you don't become aware that he took your place on Calvary,
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
but to come up and pound a nail in the cross, I just find that disturbing.
That's highly disturbing.
Kind of
It
morbid.
sounds religious.
Yes.
It
in
sounds
it sounds like
ritualistic.
That's what I was
ritualistic
thinking.
in
Yeah.
that. Yeah, I don't
Mhm.
like it.
really the sermon and the pastor is supposed to just explain and dig deeper into what the scriptures mean, and how to apply that to your life. They're not supposed to go and tell you what to do, like to actually do an action. Like you have to do this. You know what I'm saying?
Well,
Like that's like works based almost.
we're just not, and I say we, but something I see in America. I am praying for revival. I see it happening, but the church, and I can only speak, like I say, for the Church of America because those are the churches I sing at and the churches I'm in.
Mm-hmm.
We're not letting go and giving over to the Holy Spirit to tell us what to do.
Mhm.
Yes.
We don't need to be so worried about calls to action. He's the one who causes the action. And
Right.
really in the Bible, the biggest call to action that you see over and over is pray without ceasing.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I think about that call to action business?
Hmm.
Every time I go thinking I'm called to action, I'm totally missing the point. Now, it doesn't mean that the Lord can't use me in that moment,
Mm-hmm.
but I'll tell you. Do I have time to tell a little story?
Absolutely.
I went back to college when I was, the kids were in their teens.
Mm-hmm.
So I was in my late 30s. And one of my things that I was going to do is help those kids on campus too, to know the
Mhm.
Lord.
Mm-hmm.
Mhm.
Okay. And I happened to be in a class, well, actually 2 classes with this one gal who was a professed witch,
Mm-hmm.
a good witch, not a bad one,
In her words.
in her words.
Yeah.
She was very odd. I won't tell her. I didn't know her real name. She went by her other name, but I won't even say that in case somebody might know it. So I was going to be that person's salvation. You know, that's what we do.
We see the person that we think God is leading us to lead to Him. Yeah.
Did I ask him?
Yeah. No, you told him.
Right. I think this is the one, Lord.
Yeah.
Yes,
Yep.
yes.
Okay. I got no reaction out of her ever.
Mm-hmm.
Well, there was also this other person that I had 2 classes with.
A student.
Yeah, a student. He was older, probably about my age, and he was also in my art class, which art class, that was a whole situation in itself. Anyhow, for our ending project, we had to make some sort of masterpiece. Well, I had this little mannequin like they used to have in J.C. Penney and that. It was a little
Ones
child.
that actually looked like a human being
Yes.
and not
Yes.
a blank-faced white
Oh
porcelain
yeah, look,
thing.
you know how they did they had them in the 50s. They look like
Yes.
a person.
Right.
Right.
I bought her for my store before I went back to school.
Mm-hmm.
And I got the big idea to make her into an angel,
Mm-hmm.
and then I had a backdrop and an angel and the lights, and I put on music and Midnight Clear, I think it came upon Midnight Clear, and I read out of the Bible.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, I thought that was pretty risky. I thought, because college at that point was really getting, so you didn't bring that up. But anyhow, the teacher loved it and everything, and it came off really well. My dear sweet husband helped me with this project, and I was tense, of course, because I was going for a 4.0, and this was a major thing, and he wasn't getting things plugged in as soon as I wanted him to. My countenance was rather
Snappish?
snappish.
To put it in Bronte terms?
Yeah,
Terse a word?
yes, I tried not. I tried to be. It wasn't really evident to, I suppose, but I knew I wasn't in the best of mood.
You know your heart and how you're feeling.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. Anyhow, I read very well, and it all came off great. Well, okay, Christmas break. I come back to school, and I was walking through the cafeteria, and as I was going out, this man who had been in both of my classes, he said, never spoke a word to me, by the way,
Before this.
before this.
Yep.
Even though we had 2 classes together. He came up to me. He says, "Come here, Linda. I want to talk to you." And you know my name, Anyhow, he came up to me and he says, "I want to shake your hand." He shook my hand, and I'm telling you, if there was ever electricity, I felt the spirit come through my hand. I mean, it was electrifying. And he says, "I just want to thank you for your presentation in art class. I was really reeling. I didn't know which way to go. I knew I needed something, and that particular project, that angel, convinced me I needed the Lord." Now, and I says, "Okay." And I'm glad. Yes. And he walked off. Now, and I went, what I'm getting at is I was there to save this woman.
Right.
God had other ideas.
Right.
And if we go out on a mission, generally, I'm not saying it's always wrong, but we've got to be open to the Lord to direct our path.
Exactly.
I'm not saying not do it. I mean, I was still in the right spot. I just had the wrong target.
Right.
And
And
the
he's
Lord
still
knew, the Holy Spirit knew where that man's heart was and that it was seeking. So your presentation was an answer to his prayer, and you didn't know that. That's the thing.
and you still were able to be used even though you were trying to act on your own strength.
Right. And God does just not work in, should I say a vacuum? I don't know. I mean, it wasn't just this young man. It affected me.
Right.
Right.
Humbled me how I needed to. So it all worked together.
Yeah, he doesn't work on one person at a time. That's not efficient.
No.
But I think that story always makes me tear up. Like,
I know,
think
me
it's
too.
really powerful, and it's a great reminder, because basically, to sum up an answer to this that's disturbing and that you're questioning, in the Bible it says to stand ready to give an answer for the hope that is in you when people ask. It doesn't really say we're supposed to go run and shake people because we're scared for them. It says to stand ready. The Holy Spirit is working when we don't know it.
And the funny thing about that was I was not in a heavenly mood
Right.
when he was watching this thing.
Right.
So it was actually funny. I'm thinking, I got to go, at that point, I got to go home and thank my hubby
Right.
and apologize to him.
Well, and that's what usually that is when the Lord actually uses things that you do, is when you are in a state that is actually not acting on his spirit. But if you are open to his spirit and have a relationship with him, he'll turn around and use you to affect other people. But because that really gives him glory and humbles you and causes you to praise even more when you know the state that you were in and he still used you.
Right.
Yeah, there was nothing I could take as, like, see, if I had, for that other gal, I could have been, we did this, didn't we, Lord? The other, absolutely nothing.
Yep.
I was
can't take
after the
credit.
grade, and my husband better do it right, And but the whole scene touched him.
Yeah.
God touched his heart.
Yeah, I do see a lot in churches. It's like we're so focused on the physical things that are supposed to be Christian and getting people into the church and like getting people to be quote unquote Christians that we're not focusing on our personal relationships with the Lord. It's like the only way that we can affect people to bring them to the Lord, or the Holy Spirit bring them to himself through us, is by growing our relationship with God.
And what does he say? My famous verse I'm always quoting.
They'll
Well, it's
know-
actually his famous verse. I'm always quoting it.
They'll know you by the way you love one another.
One another. We're
Yes.
to love one another genuinely, like family. And they are to wonder, what do you have?
Right. What is the hope that you have?
Not how I love. Now, you can come through also how I love people that are not of the body, but
You're not supposed to condemn the world, but it also says, love not the world or the things of this world. That means, now, Paul said, I've been all things to all men, too. I get that. But you're not supposed to, they won't know you by the way you love the world, by the way you love out there.
No.
They'll know by the way you love one another.
right. And like David Wilkerson, he went into a very hard spot.
Yes.
Yep.
Right.
And they knew him by the way he loved the Lord.
Yeah.
Right.
Right.
That's
Exactly.
right.
So,
Right. And because he loved the Lord loved those boys. But if you haven't read The Cross and the Switchblade, you have to go read it. I mean, that really impacted me as a teen reading that book, because David Wilkerson was so like, no, I don't think we need to be doing this. And the Holy Spirit's just like, yeah, this is what I'm calling you to do. And that's the point where every Christian needs to be in a position to submit to the Lord and for the Lord to use us. So, yeah, a little insight into our Bible studies there that we do every morning. We always have long discussions about this sort of thing. So I hope we kind of gave, our stance on what you were saying to the person who put this in the group. Yeah, so we're about out of time, but this was a fun episode to do.
Yeah.
Yes.
I'm glad we got to talk about Roger Miller and reminisce a little bit, and also talk about the Lord at the end here.
Reminiscing this and that and having such a good time.
Oodalali, oodalali, golly, what a day. There you go. I think that's a good end right there. Make sure that you go pre-save The Great Unknown on Spotify or pre-order it on iTunes or Apple Music, or you can purchase it off of our website, www.sisterlove.org. Also, go follow our Facebook page, Sister Love, Instagram at Sister Love Sings 4. You can find us on YouTube. Basically, we're all over the internet. We also have our personal pages. We have Michelle Gabrielle on Facebook and the Girl with Crimped Hair on Instagram and TikTok. And then Xena Ariel is on Facebook, and she's the Warrior Princess 99 on Instagram, and Pages of the Past on TikTok, and soon to be YouTube, so stay tuned for that. And Elsie is Elsie Janine and Marlene McFly 05 on Instagram. My page is Jaylee Joy on Facebook and A Doodlebug's Life on Instagram and TikTok. There's my promotional spiel that the rest of the squad makes me do because they won't promote themselves. So please go give us all a follow. We post all different content, and we'd love to take you on all our journeys with us. Stay tuned for the episode next week. We're still deciding on the theme, so make sure that you go in the Squadcast discussion group on Facebook to get the first announcement of that. Until next week, we will talk to you then.
Bye.
Bye.
God bless.
Bye-bye.